Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Athlete Spine. It's Dr. Namani and Dr. Louie, and we're really excited to have Heather Olinger here today with us from Gustavus Adolphus College. And she has a really, really interesting story that she has to tell us today on the Athlete Spine. You know, she was part of the national championship winning hockey team beating Amherst in kind of a marathon final, you know, to win the D3 women's ice hockey championship. And so we're really, really excited to have you on and chat with us today.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, and we've talked about hockey before, but it's usually been in the context of like disc herniations and disc replacements versus fusion. You have a very, very different story. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I was playing in a game January 13th. And there was a play. I was just skating up the ice, dumping a puck, and I was a few feet away from the boards, and I got chucked from behind, and I went head first in the boards. And I kind of knew from that point I had broken something in my back. It was I couldn't move without anything hurting, and it was pretty intense. Obviously the worst pain I'd ever felt at that point. So I knew it was bad. Immediately I started kind of kicking my legs and moving my arms just to make sure that I was so able to do that, and that I shouldn't worry too much. But when you're in that much pain, you kind of spiral. You can't really calm yourself down. So I was on the ice for probably a good half hour till the ambulance came. My team and my athletic trainers were really good with me about keeping me calm and keeping me stable. Once I got to the hospital, they confirmed that I had a burst fracture in my on my T4, and fractured the right side of my C7. And so then they transported me to HCMC, where they did some more testing and verified that I hadn't injured my spinal cord at all, which was very lucky. And so we kind of delayed surgery for a few days, and we had surgery, I think, on that Monday, and the accident happened on a Friday. So very, very lucky that I was able to kind of delay that and let the swelling go down and everything. And I then had a surgery for a spinal fusion from my T1 through T6 to stabilize that.
Yeah, and just for everyone listening, what you had, with a burst fracture, those can be very scary, because that means essentially that the vertebral body, or the part of the vertebral column, breaks, and it breaks in a manner where sometimes bone can go backwards into the spinal canal and can injure the spinal cord. And at that level, had bone gone back and injured your spinal cord, it could result in weakness, numbness, or even paraplegia down your legs, and so it could have certainly been a lot worse. So we're really happy to not go that way for you. So that's great.
And Heather, you mentioned you were moving everything, but could you feel everything? Do you have any numbness or tingling or any pain going on?
Right. At the kind of immediately after it happened, the pain was pretty centralized in the kind of upper middle portion of my back. But as far as being able to feel all my limbs, I was able to. And kind of immediately after it happened, I had numbness in my right arm, which I think was kind of the most scary, because it made me think, if I'm feeling this in my arms, kind of everything down then too might start to go away. But after they kind of had moved me on my back, that started to go away. So that was really the only occurrence of that. So luckily I have all feeling in my arms and legs, and I'm able to move everything just as well as I was before.
Yeah, it's interesting when we talk about nerve injuries from these types of spine fractures, where there's like two types of nerve injuries that we think about. One's to your spinal cord, which is in the middle of your spine. That's the most dangerous to think about. But the reason why you had that tingling sensation in your right arm was because you had that right-sided fracture. And, yes, the spinal canal is in the middle, but at each level of our spine, we have nerve roots that come off of that serve a different function or go to a different sort of distribution in your arm and your legs. And where your fracture was on that right side of C7, probably just inflammation itself could have irritated that nerve root, which is why you had some tingling and some numbness that would come back, and then you get it again, but it would come back. And it seems to be that everything is working well now. So
yeah, absolutely. It was pretty scary, but thank goodness that went away, and that everything was fine. And I'd had multiple of those doctors tell me I had an angel on my shoulders, because man, that especially that T4 was pretty bad. It was pretty close to my spinal cord. So
yeah. So you're about 6 months out from surgery, and a lot's obviously gone on in your life since then. You guys won a national championship. You graduated from college. Congratulations. How has the recovery from surgery been?
Yeah, it's been a long process, but I've had a lot of support from not only my family and teammates, but the hockey community and people outside of the hockey community. So as far as my my mental health, it's actually been a really great ride with all the support I've been getting. On the physical side, it's definitely been tough. The first 3 months I was in a TLSO brace, and I pretty much had to wear that 24/7 unless I was sleeping. So so that was I'll say like the longest part. That definitely did not go by fast. But I've been doing physical therapy pretty much as soon as I got out of that brace. And so most of my mobility is pretty much back now. We're just kind of working on strength, and the main thing that's kind of staying around is I have a lot of muscle spasms in my like upper neck and shoulders. So that's kind of the worst of it at this point. Otherwise, I don't have much deep bone pain. And it's just a lot of building back that muscle and getting rid of that last bit of pain.
Yeah, it is incredible. I mean, you know, we do these operations, right? And they're surgeries that can take a long time to recover from, you know. And so and that's and for you, I mean, I think that the thing that you have going for you is that you're an athlete, right? And so you know kind of how to rehab from injuries and things like that. And so that's certainly going to help you in the long run kind of get back from this and be basically as good as new, you know, once you're totally healed up.
Yeah, definitely. I've had some injuries in the past too, not nearly quite as, dangerous as these ones, but yeah, like you said, I'm an athlete, so I'm gonna stay active after college and everything. So I think that's really gonna help me get back on track and kind of recover as best I can.
Yeah, what have they talked to you from an expectation standpoint as to, you know, when you can return to skating, you know, if you wanted to play hockey again, when you could go back to that, and what to expect from a functional standpoint and an ability to play?
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke with my doctor recently, and as far as kind of just like recreational skating, he said I should be able to return to that by this winter. So that'll be exciting. But as far as any like contact sports and competitive sports, I don't think I'll be able to ever kind of participate in that again, which is fine. I just, like you said, I just graduated in May, so I wouldn't have really had much more of a time to play any competitive sports. But other than that, I should be able to have a pretty normal life as far as what I can do day to day. Right now, I don't find too many things that I'm unable to do unless something's a little bit too heavy or I'm just having a bad back day. I can pretty much do everything on my own now. And there's always going to be some pain there and some different things that I'll have to go through as far as my back. But everything else, I should lead a pretty normal life. And just having this happen in my thoracic spine, there's not too many things I can't do with having to being not able to bend my back in that area. But I'm pretty happy with the results, and like I said, I haven't really noticed too many things I can't do, so I'm very fortunate to have that happen.
It's interesting that there are lots of young people that have thoracic fusions, but it's usually for scoliosis. And so this region of the spine often, if a young person has an extensive fusion, it's often for scoliosis, and it can often be in the thoracic region. And like you said, the nice thing is that this part of the spine doesn't move nearly as much as, let's say, the lumbar spine or the cervical spine. And so once you're all healed up, most people don't notice a tremendous difference in terms of their motion. Certainly your surgery was for something very different than for than scoliosis. So
yeah,
I find that. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say I find that really interesting too. I have a friend that actually did have the same thing for scoliosis, and it ended up going kind of through a lumbar spine. So
yeah, I guess one of the last questions I wanted to ask you was, you're young, you're really active, and you've gone through something that's fairly traumatic in the eyes of a lot of people. And for people who may undergo this type of surgery or have this type of injury, what sort of advice do you have for them in sort of dealing with everything that sort of came at you and then the whole recovery process, which can seem really daunting at times?
Right. I would just it's pretty cliche, but I would say just really have a positive outlook on it, have a good support system, and just know that there's better times ahead. You know, it's really gonna suck immediately after surgery and probably for a few months after that, but you know, you see yourself getting better every day, and when you know, can first kind of bend over for the first time and pick up something, or even just, you know, take a walk that day without too much pain, you know, it's actually much more uplifting than you could really think. And so seeing yourself recover step by step is a really exciting process, and just knowing that eventually you'll be able to kind of return to your life and not be in that kind of pain anymore. It's really important to keep that in mind, because you know, you're gonna have your good days and you're gonna have your bad days, but as long as you can stay positive and keep looking towards the future, I think that's really the most important thing, to stay mentally and physically healthy throughout that process.
Those are really, really great words of advice. So what's next for you now?
Yeah, so like you said, I graduated with my undergrad in biology at the end of May, and so right now I'm working as a medical assistant, and so I'm gonna be applying to PA school next cycle, and hopefully I'll get accepted there, and earliest I'll attend is 2025. So that's where my head is at right now.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's excellent. We love our PA team. And so, yeah, if you ever decide you want to work in spine and neurosurgery, come give us a call.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This was really great. And, you know, our best wishes for your continued recovery. And thanks so much again.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, this is Dr. Namani and Dr. Louie. Until next time, be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram. Take care, everyone.
Bye.